Coach. Madam.
Check. Let's move in quicker, guys. Let's move in quicker. Yeah? Okay, last one. Last one, yes, last one. Last one. I'm no longer allowing this.
Which side is better for you for the speeches? This side or that side? This side. Yeah, I haven't put it on yet. Okay.
1, 2.
What must I do? Hold it.
Lighting.
Yang lighting man. Abay check.
Just they turn their legs.
Presenter, you can stand.
Okay.
Moving over to Ntopwa Football Club, jersey number 1, Messi Sigelo. Jersey number 5, Emily Samo. Jersey number 6, Chimwemwe Pomoni. Jersey number 7, Charlotte Tego. Jersey number 10, Vitomiko Mdogorwa Waligi. Jersey number 11, Nokwajo Panda. Jersey number 13, Olivia Pilar. Jersey number 15, Rose Alexandra.
Hi, Nana.
Jersey number 17, Captain Salima January. Jersey number 20, Fanny Magogo.
Good afternoon and welcome to our CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA Qualifiers 2025. I am Mongezwe Mjana. We're broadcasting live at University of Johannesburg and it is our second match in Group A. Mamelodi Sundowns, ladies from South Africa, will be up against Ntopwa FC all the way from Malawi. They are making their second appearance of this tournament. Mamelodi Sundowns is bringing their comeback after having a bye in 2024. Remember, Mamelodi Sundowns ladies are well known for their strength, confidence, and also attacking football when they play. Meanwhile, Ntopwa FC, they made their respect by fighting spirit and resilience. It is today the day. Mamelodi Sundowns ladies up against Ntopwa FC all the way from Malawi. Earlier, I spoke to coaches. This is what they had to say, both coaches of those teams. And now we are joined by the head coach of Mamelodi Sundowns ladies, Coach Godfrey Sapula, the two-time champions of CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA Qualifiers 2021 and 2023. Hi, Coach.
Hi.
You come into this tournament with a strong track of record. How approaching today's match against Ntopwa?
Yeah, for us it's going to be a very interesting encounter. We know that it's important that the team with the big ambitions, and as Sundowns, we always want to dominate the continent, but we also have to try and be dominant in the COSAFA region first, you know. First game, we're looking to have a very positive start. We're actually hoping to use every little advantage. We're playing at home. We want to impose our game, be on the front foot, attack as much as possible from the first whistle. Make sure that we can be able to create few chances and score a few goals early in the game and get settled, you know, and take the confidence and the momentum moving forward.
Coach, you're coming back after having a bye year last year, and now maybe what is it that Sundowns ladies are known for? Their attacking flair. Should we expect maybe the same style this year?
I think having a bye, it looked like a good idea initially because it gave us a pass to CAF Champions League. But in hindsight, we thought maybe it was not the right decision in a way because we're not really prepared for Champions League because we didn't get the type of competition that will prepare us for Champions League, you know. So for us is to make sure that we go back a few years ago, remember what we have done a few years ago, but we cannot play today based on what we did a few years ago. Football has evolved, you know. We got to make sure that we do a little bit better. There's things that we took lessons from what happened in CAF Champions League that we'll try and use this tournament to improve our team and make sure that we're able to do well and win this COSAFA.
Coach, your formation is 4-3-3, the simple one, the one that is well known. And I know that your team is known of scoring more goals. Your tactical lineup? Yeah,
well, the lineup is, we're trying to be very offensive, you know. We have three strong attackers, you know, Tolagele, Melinda Khadiete and Tesane up front, you know. But we're also hoping that we are able to use the wings, the flanks, the fullbacks overlapping, make sure that we create 2v1s on the sides, you know, and deliver quality crosses and make sure that we have strikers who are capable to finish those chances and make sure that we come out victorious here today.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Most welcome.
Isaac Osman. Hello, Coach.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Coach. This is a second appearance in the qualifiers. How different is the team's mindset compared to your first outing?
Last time we come to participate, this time we come to compete. That is the difference.
Coach, you're facing the powerhouse like Mamelodi Sundowns is a big challenge. How have you prepared for this challenge?
That is the name. Football is about changing. We need Southern African women's football to change their face. You know, it's not all the time that we just sit and see all the time Mamelodi Sundowns being the champions. No, we are here to compete and we are here going to make them learn. They are going to sweat for the victory today.
Who are some of your players that we should watch out on your squad today? I saw your tactical formation 3-5-2.
Yeah, I can just tell you all the players are good. That's why I trust them. So there's no any player that I can say you can watch for this or no. You just wait and watch and you see. We play as a team. We rely on each player. We don't have a dangerous player. We play as a team.
What would the positive results today mean for women's football back at home in Malawi?
What?
Positive results today, what would they mean back at home for Malawi?
Of course, people will be disappointed home, but my girls and I will try our best to showcase the talent that we have in Malawi. You know, it's high time that we need to tell Africa that in Malawi there's also football. As you know, we have two great players who are doing good abroad from Malawi, Tabita, Chawinga, Ntopwa. So we need to show Africa that we have other Tabita and Ntopwa from Malawi. So wait and see. You watch yourself, and Sundowns, they need to think twice. They should not think that we are underdogs. We come here to fight for this battle.
Wow. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Wow, those are our coaches promising us most goals today to be scored. And they sound so ready for this encounter. They sound so ready for this encounter. And that's it from me. Let's take it to our commentators, Ryan Kuhn.
The COSAFA qualifiers, the qualifiers for the famous CAF Women's Champions League, begins today. The Southern African Women's Football Show begins today at the UJAW Miller Stadium right here in Johannesburg. The battle for regional supremacy started at noon with the interesting tussle between Zesco and Dollar Ladies and Namibia's Beauties. And that is the piece of silverware, the towering piece of silverware that 10 teams from the southern region will be competing for. Perennial serial winners, two-time champions of these qualifiers before, and a Malawian underdog, forming part of these qualifiers for only the second time. We have seen this story before in the COSAFA qualifiers, and it keeps us coming back for more every single time. This being the 5th edition of this rather special competition, showcasing the finest talent of our southern COSAFA region. And each year, new clubs rise to the fore, and some return after not participating in the last event in Malawi, that being both Mamelodi Sundowns and Ntopwa. The second game of Group A, the second game of the very first day of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. Mamelodi Sundowns, the former champions, have journeyed across the Gauteng province to the orange side of the province. Their counterparts, on the other hand, have made their way from the heart of Blantyre, all the way from Malawi. But will their heart trump the home advantage for the queens of South African women's football? The chips are stacked against the Malawian Dreamers. Not many are giving them a chance against the former CAF Women's Champions League champions, dressed in those Brazilian colors. But they will have a chance or two against Mamelodi Sundowns. A chance or two or three that they should take if they hope to cause a seismic shock in the very first day of these COSAFA qualifiers. Matched up beautifully. Mamelodi Sundowns dressed in Brazilian attire, and Ntopwa in the all red.
And of course, representing COSAFA, and our honorable representative.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of COSAFA and the executive of COSAFA, I would like to welcome everybody, and special thanks to the government of Gauteng and SAFA, and on behalf of all the teams that are participating in this competition, thank you very much for coming, and you are all welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On behalf of South African Football Association, we are delighted to host this type of a tournament in South Africa, and we hope that the best team will win and represent us in the CAF Women's Champions League. And I therefore wish to welcome the HOD from the Gauteng Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation, Mr. Ntopwa.
No, thank you very much, and thank you very much to the leadership of SAFA, and the presiding leaders of this organization. We want to say we appreciate the commitment of raising stars in our province. We therefore want to say these games are declared open, and thank you very much.
So there you have it, the opening of the show, the final word of the relevant dignitaries. SAFA Gauteng President, Mr. P.S. Andela, COSAFA Vice President, Timothy Shongwe, also had a word at the start. And leading the lineup of dignitaries is the match commissioner, Dr. Brenda Kunda. Going through Ntopwa first, definitely the underdogs for this tie against a Ramalepe-led Mamelodi Sundowns. The MEC of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture in Gauteng, Mr. Matome Chuluane, also had to say a few words before this matter got underway. Before we have a look at the lineups of both Mamelodi Sundowns ladies and Ntopwa. Should be a cracker to end the day off. This is the first match. So, Sapula, Sundowns want to begin with a big bang. Some of the continent's finest talents are in this squad, and you will struggle to find a more dangerous front three than Tolakele, Khariete and Esane, as well as a more cohesive midfield than Putumela Rabale, Biana at the base, and Mtandi, who can offer up quite a bit of creativity and pace off the mark as well. A few youngsters in the side, like Pila and Asanda Hadebe down the left-hand side. Other than that, the usual suspects of Andile Dlamini, Bambanani Mbane, and of course the captain of Mamelodi Sundowns, Ramalepe, another player in a rich vein of form for the local South African champions. Gimo Grace leads the VAR team together with Mr. Musawa of Zambia. In the first match, the referee was not called to the pitchside monitor. Remains to be seen if that will be the case in the second game. Remember that VAR, in fact, she was called once, had a look once. So VAR has already been called upon, and it might just be the case again in this second match in Group A. All of the other 8 teams are watching, and it's time for these two to lay down a marker. January, wearing the captain's armband for the Malawian side. She will find herself in the heart of that midfield, Ramalepe bombing down the right-hand side. Ntopwa are likely to start with a back 3 or a back 5 setup, depending on what the instructions were that were given to Pikani down the right-hand side and Mulimbika down the left. The midfield will be tested, the defense will be stretched too, but with January, Magomba, Samuel and Bengo, Ntopwa have physicality, and Mamelodi Sundowns on the other hand have a stacked bench, not to mention their really strong starting 11 lineup that Godfrey Sapula has selected. There is often an undeniable separation of class between most outfits and this Mamelodi Sundowns team. But the Malawian champions are capable, motivated to tango with the local favorites. Their coach, Isaac Jomo Osman, said the last time Ntopwa were part of this competition, they were simply here to participate. This time they want to take it a step further. And that is the man in charge of Ntopwa Football Club. in charge and in ownership of. And in the opposite corner, Godfrey Sapula experiences his first taste of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifying tournament today. Mamelodi Sundowns have been here before. They've won this competition twice before, missed them last season, and in their absence, UWC conquered the local region. But can Mamelodi Sundowns now reclaim their title? And it all begins in this first Group A tie against Ntopwa, a team that Mamelodi Sundowns have never played against before. So that, in and of itself, presents a unique kind of challenge to this Sapula-led Sundowns team. And already Mamelodi Sundowns settling on the ball. Early chance for Tolakele, who has a crack, and it flew like a missile. But missed the goals quite comfortably. Ever so dangerous, ever so present when Tolakele is playing on that left-hand side, when she's drifting down that flank, and when she decides to chop in and take a strike on. That's when defenders are at their most nervous. And if Ntopwa can navigate this anxious opening period, if they can grow into this game, then they might just be able to present a challenge or two at the feet of Mamelodi Sundowns. Ramalepe. They can't afford to give her too much space. Mtani gives it back to Ramalepe, who uses the right-hand flank like a highway. Rabale, good pick out. And Rabale couldn't quite make the most of the move. Two half chances for Mamelodi Sundowns to start their campaign off. Saw in the previous match how Zesco and Dola ladies slid 3 unanswered goals past Namibia's beauties, who were put under pressure throughout the game, but especially in the first half. Constant, persistent attacks from Zesco and Dola did the trick, and the beauties eventually caved. Rabale, good pass to Hadebe, who was on the underlap, and then she ran closer to the byline, and then also took a bit of a knock. The young 21-year-old. Sanda Hadebe really has made that left-hand side position of that Mamelodi Sundowns defense her own in the last few months or so. Pikani expected her perhaps to start on the right-hand side. She occupies the left flank. Isaac Jomo Osman, alert, walking around in his dugout. He would have planned meticulously and carefully for this kind of match against Mamelodi Sundowns. But everyone has a plan against this team until they start to find their groove. Biana. Good partnership she's created with Rabale and Mtandi in the midfield. And sometimes, when she's at her best, she does the work of two players in the middle of the park. Biana, Ramalepe, Esani. Biana once more, they're knocking it around with confidence. Rabale, and then the strike is on target, on goal, but easily pouched by Sikelo. Mamelodi Sundowns perhaps guilty of overplaying in that situation. Do remember that they have taken the trip from this southern regional competition to the wider continent, to the CAF Women's Champions League before. As for Ntopwa, they are yet to risk and yet to make that trip from the southern region to the CAF Women's Champions League copper. Rabale with a loose first touch. Her intentions were quite clear, to slip Tolakele through. So Mamelodi Sundowns quite busy on that left-hand side. Ntopwa still adjusting to the pace of the Brazilians' game. Strong header there by Pila. She will be tested in the air in this match. As I said, Ntopwa do have a few physical specimens in their ranks. Flamini, not her greatest clearance. Free kick chance here for Ntopwa. Foul on their captain, January. Whenever they get a chance like this, those centre halves, and especially their fullbacks, will be lining up in the box. And he would have drilled set pieces into his team before the tournament got underway. It might be their best avenue to defeat Mamelodi Sundowns, to shock Mamelodi Sundowns this afternoon. Or she could go for glory herself. She does. Dlamini parries, but she doesn't knock it too far away. Careful bit of goalkeeping. And a moment like that, a shot like that, has had this tendency in the past to galvanize teams, to really get them into the tussle. And it seems like Ntopwa are starting to settle in. But Mamelodi Sundowns built so beautifully from the back. A lot of activity in the, or on the Ntopwa bench, not so much for Mamelodi Sundowns. They know exactly what to do and how to do it, but the question is, can they do it against an unfamiliar opponent? Emily Samuel. It was a good touch from Nkandawa Wire. Ramalepe cleans up. Flamini spears it down the field now. Mtandi, who was seeking Tolakele. Rabale. Tolakele still scored in Mamelodi Sundowns' last match against the University of Cape Town. Esane also scored just the other day. Here she goes. She penetrates the box. Can she find Rabale? She does. Khariete is onside. And then Ntopwa survive. They are in need of a disciplined and a diligent defensive performance. But it's easier said than done, especially when Mamelodi Sundowns establish their free flow state. Rabale, now Mtandi. Could see the technique that she was looking for. The ball just didn't swerve in her favor. But that is pretty much Mtandi's game in a nutshell. Arriving late into the box to those loose balls. Third attempt for the former champions of this competition. And from wherever you may be watching, if you didn't know, this is the second slice of women's football for the day to conclude day one of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. Only one out of the 10 clubs will progress to the rather special continental tournament. Dlamini takes the risk and pulls it off ever so well. Ramalepe also unafraid to travel a little bit further with the ball at her feet. Esane is also a slippery and tricky customer, but if they can get close to her, they may just be able to nullify Mamelodi Sundowns. But to nullify the domestic champions, the serial and perennial winners, it's going to take some effort indeed. Another free kick for Ntopwa, this time a lot further back for Pikani. They've got an animated coach behind their back, a coach with belief. And they're just checking. The VAR are checking a possible reckless foul. The referee of the match, Teresa Sitoko of Lesotho, is hearing what those two VAR officials have to say. Reckless, red card check. This would throw a huge spanner in the works. It's tough already to take on Mamelodi Sundowns with 11 ladies, but to do it with 10, to do it with one less, would have been a huge task indeed. Not to be, still 11 v 11, and still 0-0 between Sundowns and Ntopwa. Last year we were in Malawi for this yearly drama, and from the very first group affair to that nail-biting penalty shootout in the final, a lover of African women's football could not have hoped for more. Now we just had a red card check, going to see the first yellow card. The recipient, Mulimbika, who almost has two players to mark on that right-hand side, with Tolakele on her inside and Asana Hadebe on her outside. Less than 15 minutes in and already one yellow card. A congested mix of players in that Ntopwa penalty area. Mtandi, Khariete, Pila there for Sundowns. Mbane too. And a few ladies in red as well. Rabale, of course, doesn't get enough on her cross into the box, but Ntopwa failed to clear. Chance for Tolakele, she wants a corner kick. And she's going to get it. It opened up for her and then it shut down in the nick of time. Second, actually the third sighter of the game so far for Tolakele. A lady who played no part in last season's CAF Women's Champions League due to a nasty and long-term injury. So I suppose you can say this is Tolakele's comeback story. Another Banyana international. Esane drills it to Khariete. It's difficult to take for her. Esane again, deflection on the cross. Difficult for the goalkeeper, who has made a mess of it. But there was a foul. Mbane guilty with the push. There will be a goal check, of course. But a teaser of a delivery by Esane. The deflection was kind as well, and I don't see a lot wrong with that goal. And for that reason, I think the VAR officials agree with me, and perhaps with you at home, but not the referee, perhaps. Still 0-0. Interesting call, and the call sticks. Pikani. Sundowns owning possession so far. And Ntopwa yet to really launch a attack of real meaningfulness. Here's Ramalepe though. Brilliant cross and a brilliant finish by Tolakele. It was always going to be a matter of time. And Tolakele scores for the two-time champions of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. Sumptuous delivery from Ramalepe, but that is what we expect from her. The quality of two international players coming to the fore. Unconvincing goalkeeping once again, but this time around, Sikelo is promptly punished. A striker's movement, a striker's finish. Some finisher. And some start for Mamelodi Sundowns. Exactly the kind of start that they were hoping for. And the fourth goal of the day. Biana, Khariete, it's sweeping. Mtandi. Biana couldn't get there, but Hadebe does. Here is Mbane. H does catch up with everyone, but it is yet to catch up with Bambanani and Mbane. Pila, a lot younger. And Tolakele has done ever so well so far to hold the width on the left-hand side, but also to drift inside whenever she notices the gap. Shabel Bengo is playing on the right-hand side of that back three for Ntopwa, but they've just invited far too much pressure from Mamelodi Sundowns so far. Yet to find a competitive edge in this match. So far, quite clearly second best. Flamini to Pila. And they escape so beautifully out of a sticky situation. It is, of course, drilled into their DNA. For some teams, it looks rather awkward if they choose to play out from the back. For Mamelodi Sundowns, it looks rather smooth. Here is the goal scorer, Tolakele. Takes some punishment, then Rabale tries to flick it on to Hadebe, back of her. Back of her illegally. Might have come off the hand as well as the face. The defenders of Ntopwa are being kept busy. Biana always has a second or two longer on the ball. Mtandi. Pikani deals with the matter, but it's still Sundowns. It's all Sundowns in these opening 20 minutes. Khariete to Rabale. The interplay is starting to be connected. Tolakele. It is on. Something like that is on. And Tolakele is unafraid to try her luck. She has scored, but she has gone wide 3 or 4 times already. Biana, and then Khariete let it slide to Rabale. Tame effort. But efficient football by Mamelodi Sundowns so far. It's not a great clearance, it failed to go out. It spun back inside for Tolakele and now Rabale. Hadebe, who was off balance. Now we all know that various iterations of COSAFA competitions have taken shape at this very ground before. And on top of this mighty hill in the city of Johannesburg, this competition is played at this ground for the very first time. As for Mamelodi Sundowns, and for some of the members that have, of course, played for Banyana Banyana, they would have utilized this ground as a training facility, perhaps as a ground to take on the likes of the University of Johannesburg. But a different kind of contest this afternoon. A continental showdown that Mamelodi Sundowns have not experienced for a few months.
Look at the ball, look at the ball.
So we're about halfway through the first half. Ntopwa yet to find an answer to this puzzle that is Mamelodi Sundowns. And that bench is, as I said, absolutely stacked with even more stars, new signings that are yet to make their first start for Mamelodi Sundowns, the likes of which include Isabella Ludwig and Ronald Donnelly. And they've got other youngsters like Malebana, Mugwara as well. Mali is another. Here's Mulimbika. A handoff there on Hadebe. She just wanted to feel where her marker was, where Sanda Hadebe was. And in the process of doing so, she just stuck her hand into her face. Nothing with any real menace, but a free kick nonetheless for Mamelodi Sundowns, who will know that Ntopwa missed out on a home event last year. It was a huge opportunity missed for the ladies in red. But football does work in mysterious ways, and here they are competing with one of the best on the continent. It's a good measuring stick for Ntopwa. Esane nods it down very nicely and then dummies it for Ramalepe, who's quick with her feet and quick with her thinking, and then Mtandi comes in there. Rabale off the crossbar, chance again for Tolakele, and it's wide. Receives applause all around. Was some jaw-dropping football on the edge of the box. Mtandi did well to pick out Rabale, who also did well to stay behind and make the perfect run. And as for Tolakele, on another day, a possible brace. But she'll still be chasing, she'll be hunting. Ntopwa just need to find an escape strategy out of their own half, because it's difficult to say and to see how they are going to escape their own half. Ramalepe to Mtandi. Esani goes to the byline, keeps it in. Mtandi to Ramalepe around the corner. Neat little touches in the box, clever touches, and the defenders have to be so careful not to commit a foul. And speaking of committing a foul, Esane taken down by Nkanda Wawire. second yellow card of the tie so far. Both going to the ladies in red. Nkanda Wawire arriving late on Ntopwa Esani. And not the kind of place you want to be conceding a free kick, especially with Rabale, the set-piece specialist she is. She is busy conspiring with Esani. Three-lady wall. One goalkeeper yet to find her confidence. And yet to take command of her 6-yard box. The question is, might Rabale go for goal herself, or is Esani just to hook it in? Rabale goes for it, and it's nodded wide again. Tolakele again. On another day, a possible first half hat-trick. They were lining up for that cross. And this has been the story to a certain degree of Mamelodi Sundowns over the last few months since Sapula has taken charge. Their inability to stick away chances, to really cement results and blow the opposition out of the water like they used to. The gap has certainly closed. And they are a little less ruthless than what they were. But it doesn't take much for Mamelodi Sundowns to rediscover their ruthlessness. Mbanetu Dlamini, who has played herself back into form this calendar year. And apart from one or two moments, Dlamini had another excellent Women's Africa Cup of Nations. And has only conceded one goal since she's been back from international duty. Yet to see Posija since the end of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Ramalepe. Khariete. Now this competition that has brought us all here today and will keep us here for days ahead, this competition of regional champions, of regular participants and inexperienced debutants, will dish up a few shocks and moments your jaw might drop to the floor. Yet to see one of those moments today, although Zesco and Dola were mightily impressive against Namibia's beauties, who did recover in the second half of that 12 o'clock kickoff. Here's Hadebe. And here's Rabale. Mulimbika leads the charge now for Ntopwa. That final ball yet to surface for them.
Okay.
And although the discrepancy so far between the two has been rather obvious, it is still only 1-0 to Mamelodi Sundowns ladies, despite all of their dominance. And Ntopwa will need to tweak a few things here and there to be a little bit more confrontational. Dlamini had to be quick and she had to be decisive there to Pila. who is experienced and well-travelled, despite being on the younger side of the average age of a pro centre-half. Pila.
Your energy in holding on. Coletta, sometimes I might not see land.
We haven't seen Sundowns in this position too often in this game so far. In their own box now. And Dlamini makes another rather comfortable gather. Did that ball go out of play? According to the lines lady, it did. Ntandi takes it off the toes of Pikani. Khariete, now Rabale. Tolakele. That was a really good ball from Biana to open up the play. And a well-timed tackle by Rose Alufandika. Tolakele pushes Mulambika onto the floor. Isaac Jomo Osman, the man who masterminded Ntopwa's rise in 2022, and he mastered their return to the pinnacle of women's football in our region. What kind of plan will he come up with in the second half? Because Ntopwa certainly need a change of strategy. We've seen the relevant substitutes being sent out for a warm-up by both Mamelodi Sundowns and Ntopwa. Safe to say that Sundowns do have the bigger bench. Central free kick, Rabale. Ariete making a nuisance of herself. Tandi makes a good steal together with Biana, who turns sumptuously. Rabale can't do the same. Now this first day in the competition only showcases the beginning of Group A. Tomorrow we will be introduced to the players in Group B and in Group C. But the biggest group of this competition has captured all of our focus today. 4 teams in this group, 2 of which you saw in action earlier on. Only the 3 teams in the 2 other groups. But it's good to see that the competition has grown and included more clubs from this talented COSAFA region. Far from desirable that attempt was, but Ntopwa just need to keep on trying. And if they don't concede another goal before half-time, they will be quite motivated and very much hungry to re-enter the second half and to chase Mamelodi Sundowns. But you just get the impression that they are happy to play second fiddle for now. Pila. It's all about control for Mamelodi Sundowns, and for Ntopwa not to do anything rash. And And while they focus on that, they need to focus on creating more opportunities. An opportunity that may just arise from this free kick chance. Dlamini shouts she just wants one lady in front of the ball, a one-lady wall. The rest lining up about 3 meters outside of the 18 area. Substitution. Very early substitution for Ntopwa. Ntopwa, wearing the number 23 on her back, enters the contest in place of the lady that just won the free kick, Magombo. Let's see what will come of this. It's off Pila's head. And that one, Ntopwa will just let run out for a corner kick. As you can hear there, from the microphones on the field, Mamelodi Sundowns expecting an in-swinger towards their 6-yard box. Ntopwa are outnumbered in the box. Mamelodi Sundowns have all of their players in their own box. 5 in red. Can somebody be picked out? No. At least the first time around. Second time around is blocked. Pikani and then Emily Samuel didn't want to dilly-dally on the ball for too long. Mthandi looked for Tolakele, and she's gained territory for her team. Ramalepe measures up the cross. This time she misjudges it. Just gives it a little bit too much elevation compared to that earlier cross she produced, which landed smack bang on the head of Tolakele. Wonderful picture of the city of Johannesburg in the background. A picturesque ground this is. And we've seen some picturesque stuff from Mamelodi Sundowns in this first half, albeit that they are only leading by a single goal to nil. Ntandi rolls it out from under her feet. Khariete misses it completely. Tolakele into the breadbasket of Sikelo. Another chance goes a-begging for Banyana Bastile. Esane beaten fairly. Now Ntopwa can really go. Not according to Mbane. Haven't seen too much of Konda Wall, Banda and Nkanda Wawire so far. Those two attackers that were supposed to lead the line, supposed to try and run in behind, have just simply filtered into the midfield to give an extra defensive body that they might need now. Ntandi, dangerous delivery, and time for another corner kick. It's just about survival for now for the Malawians. Now Hadebes come from the opposite side to take charge of this corner kick. Six Sundowns players in the box, 6 Ntopwa ladies too. Esane does play it short to Hadebe. She Tries to find the tricky number 6 again. Kani looks uncomfortable after that challenge with Esani. Ntandi, she's been active. Biana. Esani does well, goes for it, and just pulls her attempt. She does have this unique ability to pinpoint where the pockets is. And she's been able to do so in this match. She's got a wonderful football IQ, does Esani. Ramalepe. Neat pass to Mtandi. Khariete. Nearly a clever back heel. Back to Mtandi. Hadebe. Still the one-way traffic flows. Tolakele. A hit and hope. Now Rabale. Melinda Khariete has a pop. Looked threatening. Looked really threatening. But no second goal for Sapula to celebrate just yet. Sundowns still patiently knocking and probing. And they need Ramalepe for not only this match but throughout the tournament as well. If Mamelodi Sundowns were to go on and capture their third CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualification title, they need their captain. Saw how instrumental Chitundu was for Zambia's Zesco and Dola in the previous outing. In this match, following a similar kind of feel to the 12 o'clock kickoff. And if you didn't know, Mamelodi Sundowns have never lost a regional COSAFA qualifier before. In regulation time at least. No team has truly bothered and disturbed the Brazilians in the group phase of this competition before. And Ntopwa can do so if they just hold on until half-time. Another ball into the box. Will it fall to Khariete? Perhaps to Tolakele. Number 2 for her. Number 2 for Mamelodi Sundowns. To the elation of some of their supporters in the stands, Tolakele has been everywhere on the park this afternoon. She's been the most dangerous. She's been finding herself in the most dangerous positions more often than any other player on the pitch today. And she's got her second. She had the poise, she had the coolness and the calmness to take the touch, pick her spot, and gave Sikelo in that Ntopwa goal absolutely no chance. Mamelodi Sundowns really missed her for large portions last year, but she's firing on all cylinders this year. Pila was heavy with the first touch and then rather silky with the second and third to escape Kondawayo Banda. Biana went in high. So a minimum of 3 minutes to go before we press pause on this match, the second match in Group A of these COSAFA qualifiers. The Brazilians so far with a welcomed return to the competition. Audacious catching practice though for Dlamini. Hadebe, Rabale with something divine. Khariete chests it down absolutely beautifully. Biana may have missed out on the recent Women's Africa Cup of Nations, but she knows what it takes to achieve success on the continental stage in club colours. And Biana is a wonderful extension of a already rather solid Mamelodi Sundowns backline. A backline that is really tested in this competition in the local Hollywood Bet Super League 2. But there is a blueprint to cause them a few problems, to perhaps defeat them. Ntopwa and Isaac Jomo Osman might know what that blueprint is, but they are far from executing it. Khariete to Ramalepe now for Sundowns. Drills it goalwards. She drilled it hard, but she was offside in any event. Scored a goal like that from a similar position like that one for Banyana against Mali in the recent Women's Africa Cup of Nations. No stranger to start off as a right full back, then all of a sudden play as a second striker. Dlamini with a punt towards Rabale. Two Lesotho nationals on the field. Rabale the one, and the referee, Teresa Sitoko, the other. So Ntopwa most certainly need an injection of energy and belief when they enter their changing rooms during the half-time break. As for their coach, Isaac Jomo Osman, tactical tweaks, personnel changes may just be the order of the second half. But a rather domineering start for the two-time champions of this competition, Mamelodi Sundowns, thanks to two well-taken goals by Tolakele. One with the head after a sumptuous delivery by Ramalepe, and the other, she was given so much time and space, too much time and space in the box of Ntopwa when she slotted away with that lethal right boot of hers. High fives all around for Mamelodi Sundowns. The Brazilians brilliant, and Ntopwa need some inspiration. Three goals in the first game, 2 goals already in this first half between Mamelodi Sundowns and Ntopwa Football Club. In terms of these statistics, it paints a picture of dominance. 67% of the ball belonging to Mamelodi Sundowns, 12 goal attempts for Sundowns, and only the 3 for Ntopwa Football Club. More accurate, more efficient, and more ruthless Mamelodi Sundowns. Is that going to change in the second half? We'll have to wait and see.
leadership of COSAFA and the presiding leaders of this organization, we want to say we appreciate the commitment of raising stars in our province. We therefore want to say these games are declared open. Thank you very much.
Welcome the team.
Welcome the team.
Johannesburg is a pretty picture this afternoon, with the skyline at the back and Ntopwa and Mamelodi Sundowns going at it on this A.W. Miller turf. And the second round, the second half, will soon get underway. The first passage was absolutely dominated by Mamelodi Sundowns, despite them only scoring 2 goals. Tolakele on another day could have, should have bagged 4 or 5, but she'll be chasing a hat-trick this afternoon to become the first hat-trick hero of the 2025 CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. South Africa's Mamelodi Sundowns and Malawi's Ntopwa. And as expected, we've seen 1 change already from an Ntopwa perspective, and now 2 from a Mamelodi Sundowns standpoint. Magia enters the mix together with the new lady at Kleurkop, Isabella Ludwig. In and out of the starting 11 is Magia, Isabella Ludwig. Slowly settling in to this new team she finds herself into, the new demands that she has been greeted with as a Mamelodi Sundowns player. So 2-0 as we begin this second half. Ntopwa need a comeback, a Malawian miracle of sorts. As for Sundowns, they've made the changes, and the changes are already busy and running about with Magia and Ludwig now. In and out of the starting 11, Magia, but her hunger has remained high as ever. Isabella Ludwig also gives that Mamelodi Sundowns midfield something different. She's a good ball carrier. The likes of Biana is a good ball disruptor, good defensive midfielder. As for Ludwig, she can do a whole bunch. Magia nods it to Khariete. Tolakele is available, and Emily Samuel puts her laces through it. Now Pikani. Dlamini comes out of her box. She did so quite a number of times in that first half. Bane. Very collected, very composed. Ludwig runs into red traffic. Ntopwa need to find some way to disrupt Mamelodi Sundowns' dominance of possession. And you wonder when they will really go for the gamble and throw caution to the wind. But for now, you would think Ntopwa would start the second half off like they ended the first half, on a very cautious note. But caution can so often be the undoing of clubs in this competition. As Ludwig marches on for Sundowns. Good cross from Ludwig. Good chest down from Khariete. Now Magia. Tolakele with her back to goal. Ntandi looks to go on the outside. Ramalepe chucks it to Tolakele. Not in the box. This time she delivers. Khariete tries to flick it on. This time, more commanding stuff from Sikelo. And again, it's a hit and hope. And from that clearance, Mamelodi Sundowns have the ball yet again. Perhaps Sikelo and Ntopwa will be better suited just to roll the ball out to one of the centre halves, construct something from the back, build something. Because they haven't provided too much entertainment so far. Sundowns certainly have. Here's the substitute, Magia. Not enough purchase on her attempt. Ntandi with the presence of mind to curl the ball in behind that Ntopwa back line. Ntandi has hardly given the ball away today, but Biana does there, and here goes Mkanda Wawire for Ntopwa. Can she find someone, or can she perhaps travel a little further by herself? Bane holds her. But the number 10 looks to penetrate again. Ramalepe, so clever. Ludwig rushes it slightly. She might be caught out. Bane gives it back to Ludwig. A little bit more confrontational and in your face now on Ntopwa. This is the kind of physicality and the edginess they were lacking in the first half. Mtandi with quick, swift feet. Still Mtandi. Ludwig wasn't making the run Mtandi wanted her to make. Some magic feet there, but no magical outcome for Mtandi or for Mamelodi Sundowns, who weren't present in the last edition of this competition for the simple reason that they conquered the continent and won the CAF Women's Champions League in 2023. So qualification was guaranteed for last year's edition, which ushered in the introduction of UWC, a UWC team that rose as champions of these qualifiers 1 year ago. In fact, 3 of the last 4 editions have been won by a South African side. Will that trend continue this year? Again on South African soil? Perhaps is there a different challenger that will make themselves known? A challenger like Zesco and Dola, who might just have to improve a few facets of their play, because they'll be encountering Mamelodi Sundowns on Sunday, which should be an absolute blockbuster. Good old women's football rivalry between South Africa and Zambia. Drop ball for Ntopwa. Drop ball for January. Mtandi and Ludwig working in conjunction. And Mtandi is certainly operating at a graceful level in the second half. Ludwig getting to grips with the game, finding a good pass to Melinda Khariete too, who spins delightfully but then spins herself into trouble, into January's way. Banda runs into Mbane. Hadebe knew she underbaked that pass to Ntandi. So last year the South African contingent ruled supreme, but the representatives of Malawi a year ago, Ascent Soccer Academy, finished last in a group of 4 teams. And this year it's the ladies in red who carry the hopes of Malawi, hoping to definitely not finish last in this group of 4, this group A. No real plan or structure in the way Ntopwa have tried to attack Mamelodi Sundowns today. Organized at the back, but very unorganized when they try to play on the front foot. And you need a plan of attack against this Mamelodi Sundowns team if you stand any chance. But here goes Tolakele, who might just turn assist provider to Magia. What a goal, what a counter-attack. Just like that, in a blink of an eye. Magia scores a simple goal, and Sundowns' third of the afternoon, and they are running away with the 3 points now. Fresh from the bench, and Nthabiseng Magia produces an instant impact. Tolakele took her time, lifted her head, waited for the perfect moment to produce the cutback, and it was put on a silver platter for Magia. A poacher's finish. A quick Sundowns move resulting in a goal, and now Ntopwa find themselves in a much deeper hole, being 3 goals down to the 2-time defending champions of this competition, the 2-time champions of the CAF Women's Champions League. There were hopes that Ntopwa would be able to bridge the gap of class and of quality between themselves and Mamelodi Sundowns. And the best way to bridge the gap of quality is to perhaps make the game ugly, to make it physical. But they just haven't done that enough. And that possession statistic pretty much tells you all you need to know, except for the statistic on the top left-hand side of your screen. Sundowns 3 and Ntopwa 0. And having so much of the football, which is exactly how they like it. Ramalepe again over the top to Magia. Is she onside? She is! Magia lets herself down with that wayward touch. But the flag did go up in a delayed fashion. Nthabiseng Magia is one of the many success stories in recent women's football history, especially in the history of the Hollywood Bet Super League. She emerged from rather humble beginnings to the brightest of lights in the women's game, at least on this continent. Pila Tumbane. It's cruise control mode now for Mamelodi Sundowns. Perhaps they can test out a few strategies they wanted to, seeing that they are already 3 goals up to the good. Magia Tuamtandi, integral to their plans in this tournament. Pila. And the Brazilians certainly making their home advantage count, although they are on enemy soil if you consider the landscape of women's domestic football in this country. In the orange side of the province where the University of Johannesburg reside, JVW2. But they've come across from the nation's capital with some point to prove. There's no doubt that the other 2 teams, Namibia's Beauties and Zambia's Zesco and Dola, are watching this contest unfold, or at least their coaches taking notes. It will be interesting to see if Zesco and Dola can unlock any weakness in this Mamelodi Sundowns team, because Ntopwa have not revealed those weaknesses in this Mamelodi Sundowns side. Zimtandi touches it on to Magia, but that's sharp defensive work by Emily Samuel. Now Ludwig. Now Geriete. Now Tolakele to Ludwig. Flag is down. Ludwig wastes it. Again, wonderful shoe shine, quick football. And she was clearly onside. Ntopwa wanted to play the offside trap, but they weren't trapping Ludwig, who had more time than what she initially thought. As I said before, a traditional number 8 likes to carry the ball, but she would want to improve on her numbers. Isabella Ludwig, more goals, more assists, gets her into the South African national side. So an hour has gone by, half an hour to go in this second collision in Group A. Ludwig sticks in a toe there. Comes off Khariete, rather kindly so for Sundowns. Bane, so good with those line-splitting passes. Tolakele. Ramalepe. Down to the left. To Magia. She puts it into the box, and it's headed away from the penalty spot by Emily Samuel. Then Khariete gets her attempt all wrong. But it's chance after chance so far for Mamelodi Sundowns. They had a number of opportunities to blow Ntopwa out of the water in that first half, but they allowed Ntopwa to still believe once they re-entered this match. But that third goal that Magia scored would have been a tough one to take. And Tandi. Magia drops the shoulder. She's absolutely got the defenders dancing. It was a risky pass by Pila, or attempted pass. But the skill just moments ago from Magia. Eye-catching once again. As for Isaac Jomo Osman's job description, it goes far beyond than just the simple matters on the football pitch. He is actively involved with all things Ntopwa. The owner and the coach. And the man under pressure to respond to this imperious Sundowns side that have added to their ranks some members from past COSAFA qualification competitions have remained. Clearly more cohesive. There's a lot more chemistry between them and compared to the ladies in red. But we might just see much needed improvements, especially on the attacking front from Ntopwa in the final few minutes of this game, but they definitely need to improve in their second Group A match, which will be on Sunday. Hatebe wins a corner kick. If you didn't know, Ntopwa's overall record in these qualifiers read 3 matches played, 2 lost and 1 drawn back in 2023. And in that edition, in the heart of KwaZulu-Natal, Ntopwa played with belief, although they came undone when they encountered another successful club in this region by the name of Green Buffaloes. Hadebe, low. Hadebe does what she does best, and that's to involve her teammates. Biana, good pass from her, Tolakele. Slight deflection there, big deflection actually, that took most of the sting out of Tolakele's strike. And it's so difficult to dispossess Mamelodi Sundowns of possession because most of their players are so comfortable when the ball arrives at their feet. And that's a bit of the commentator's curse. Biana had her pocket picked from behind, but for the most part, they've been so unbelievably tidy on the ball, Mamelodi Sundowns. And they are difficult to dispossess because they don't stay on the ball for too long. Usually it's 1, 2 touch, maximum of 3 touches before they give it away and then receive it again. Yes, they do have superstars in the team, superstars of the women's game on the African continent. But they do play as a cohesive unit. Mamelodi Sundowns, as Joyce Makweya will be introduced now to see out the last interval of this match. There's a whole host of changes, 3 in fact, for Ntopwa. Ruth Nirongo is the second change. And Jessie Yosefe is also on. So 2 changes at the back and 1 in the midfield for Ntopwa. None so far up top. Oh, it does seem like one of the substitutes. I think it's Nirongo that has made her way up to the pointy end of the field to try and give that Mamelodi Sundowns defense something to think about, because they've been unbothered, unperturbed so far in this match. Tandi. Tandi again. How she would love a goal. Maybe an assist. Ludwig crashes into Rose Alufinikwa. Now Khariete chips it. Just chips it to Sikelo. And those goal kicks, those clearances from Sikelo are just so easy to read. Pikani can't get past Ludwig. Ludwig picks up the loose pieces in the middle. Again, the target in the second half has been Magia. Ntopwa have had this tendency to be pulled from the right-hand side to the left-hand side of the field, so much space is available for Magia, and some space is available here for Ntopwa. But Nkanda Wawire can only find Lamini. It's almost impossible to defend and to survive the entire game when you encounter Mamelodi Sundowns. That is why it's just probably the better strategy to meet them up front, lady for lady. Tandi, see what she was trying to do there, to loop it over the head of the goalkeeper. Alambane is out of position here for the first time in the match, but Pila certainly isn't. She's grown a great deal ever since she's joined and played alongside Mbane, who's down and out on the turf. So a new signing from last year, Simone Soles, and a new signing this year, the most recent signing from Mamelodi Sundowns, Ronald Donnelly, comes to replace Khariete. Ramalepe is also taken off for Simone Soles, who would have wanted to play a little bit more. Game time has been difficult to come by. Ronald Donnelly is yet to make her first start for Mamelodi Sundowns, but she has appeared from the bench before, but she's also yet to score her first goal for Sundowns. And we just saw weeks ago how she scored her first international goal, her first Women's Africa Cup of Nations goal for Banyana against Mali. Can she bag her first club goal for Sundowns? Gia really looks up for it. Emily Samuel. January goes in hard on Magia, who bounces back up on her feet. There she goes. Pumps it down the line to Renal Donnelly, who fancies her chances. She'll look to go all the way. And she's just muscled off the field of play. Determined running, but she just mistimed her run there, did Renal Donnelly, the former UWC striker, of course. So she knows what it takes to win this competition. As you can see there, not a favourable angle, but Donnelly did look onside. It wouldn't have made any difference. Bingo. January. Free kick for January and for Ntopwa. Tandi recognized her foul and her mistake. Now, although Ntopwa are likely to go down in this first group match against Mamelodi Sundowns, considering the scoreline, considering everything we've seen so far, but boy, how they would appreciate a goal, a consolation of some sort against Mamelodi Sundowns, just to convince them they can really compete in this southern regional COSAFA competition. They did score one goal the last time they were present in this competition 2 years ago. Still waiting for their first. As for Mamelodi Sundowns, they rarely concede in the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. Donnelly and Tandi, Ludwig in the wall. A long, long way out. But we've seen some special things in COSAFA championships before. Dlamini might be tested. That one was close, and perhaps you can argue that might be the time that Dlamini was the most worried she's been all afternoon long. The closest Ntopwa have come, and that is to the roof of Dlamini's net. And she just said to the free kick taker afterwards, "No, you're not going to beat me from that kind of a distance." Dlamini went to look for Mtandi, who did raise her foot. Made no contact, I think, or it doesn't seem like she made any contact on January. It's probably the final warning for Mtandi. Don't blame her, she had all eyes on the ball. And possession has increased for Sundowns, if that was even possible, but they sit on 71% possession as of now, as we head towards the closing stages of this closing game of day one. And again, another speculative attempt from Shabal Bengo. Sundowns have always entered this competition as the undisputed favorites for winning it twice and finishing as losing finalists once. Every time they enter an arena such as this, they are the team to beat, the team with the biggest target on their backs. But this has only ever brought the best out of Mamelodi Sundowns. Their coach, Godfrey Sapula, did say that it might have been the wrong decision to sit out of last year's COSAFA qualification tournament due to the fact that they weren't particularly impressive in the last CAF Women's Champions League. They weren't quite ready for that level of competition yet. This competition serves as excellent preparation for the CAF Women's Champions League. Only for the winner. That is the one team that will win this competition. Only one team will go through to the CAF Women's Champions League. 1 out of 10. There goes Magia again. Can she hold her off? Donnelly, perhaps. Good battle there on the edge of the box. Ronald Donnelly will still, or is still, adapting to the Mamelodi Sundowns style of play. Quite different to that of Tina Sonke-Mbuli's UWC, but her role is rather simple. Put the ball into the back of the net. And she may make her first start for her new club in this competition. Simone Soles is another youngster that serves as the backup to Lebogang Ramalepe. There she is, Simone Soles. Diana. Mtandi is going to go for it. Magia back to Mtandi, who has her marker exactly where she wants her. And she just overdoes it that ever so slightly. Here's Mbane. Mamelodi Sundowns certainly keeping the ball with confidence and with poise and with so much accuracy. Now wearing the captain's armband, Bambanani Mbane. Ntopwa have seemingly run out of energy. They've expended a lot of gas just to try and keep up with Mamelodi Sundowns. But they do set an unmatched pace to the Brazilians. Kandawawire. Pila slightly nudged from behind. In fact, it was Mbane that was nudged from behind. And this is exactly the kind of game Mamelodi Sundowns were hoping for, the kind of game to kickstart and to launch their 2025 CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualification campaign. A nice and easy beginning. But they do need to win 5 matches to go through to that showpiece event later this year. They need to win 5 matches. And they are on course to doing so after match 1. The challenges will get fiercer as the competition goes on. Thandi had a stellar performance, and taking her place is Kunjulwa Mali, a player with bags of talent and a terrifying prospect to introduce with just 10 minutes to go, including stoppage time. Mamelodi Sundowns do have some defending to do here nonetheless. It's a diving headed clearance by their captain, who just simply loves the art of defending. Mulimbika clips it up there. I think it did go out before it reached Dlamini, which was... Pila asks quite a lot of Magia, who wasn't quite able to keep it in. Makwea, January, clips it up in the box. And they should have done that much more throughout the game. Cross the ball into the box, at least ask the question of the likes of Mbane, Ramalepe, Pila and Hadebe, whose jobs have been made rather easy. And that's largely because the midfield has worked so hard for Mamelodi Sundowns in this game to control the match. Biana playing an integral role, a backseat role, but very important nonetheless. Hadebe did squeeze the pass to Biana, but she's still down. Sundowns will attack. Not in any mood to stop. Here is Mali. Excellently measured ball to Magia, who tries to skirt and dance her way through. That was a thumping defensive bit of work by Pila. Old school, no nonsense defensive work by Pila to once again halt Mkanda Wawire. That is some statement, and the story of the match this afternoon, the second match really. All of these 50-50 duels have been won by Mamelodi Sundowns, and there's coach Simpiwe Dludlu, former colleague of us here at SABC Sports, and a true promoter of women's football in this country, on the African continent. So many people expected to see the scoreline, and so it has proven to be. Mamelodi Sundowns in the lead, strolling towards that full-time whistle. Mali. Magia. Let loose. Magia to Donnelly. Misses from point-blank range, just like Ludwig done just minutes ago. On her weak foot, yes, but a chance she really should be sticking away. That could have been goal number 1 for Mamelodi Sundowns. Just didn't get her knee over the top of the ball, Ronald Donnelly. But she might get another chance. Ludwig goes for goal. Not too far away. Mamelodi Sundowns hoping to end this match off with style and with another goal, just to further emphasize the point that they wish to win this competition yet again. Ntopwa haven't put up much of a fight today, but they will be fighting tooth and nail on Sunday. That's for sure. Mulimbika. She needs to utilize the space she's been presented with. Pila. Donnelly. Thought she got away with it. The referee calls her back. So 2 years ago, when Sundowns last formed part of these qualifiers in Durban, the Brazilians won all 3 of their group matches, and they did so without conceding a single goal and scoring 16 of their own in those 3 group matches. And they are yet to concede in the group stage so far in the 2025 CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers, but that may change. Mulimbika put Donnelly on the floor. Bambanani Mbane. Damini to Donnelly. And that's probably the biggest difference between Melinda Geriete and Ronald Donnelly. Geriete likes to drop in a little bit deeper to combine and be the glue in the Sundowns attack. As for Ronald Donnelly, she gives the option to Andile Dlamini just to punt it forwards. A tall striker can relieve so much pressure with a simple long ball. Donnelly unable to keep it in. Tolakele loses out. Kandawawire is offside. Miles off, I think. Not too much left in this Group A tussle between Sundowns and Ntopwa. The 31st of August, next Sunday, is the date and time. Sundowns and perhaps even Ntopwa and all the other clubs want to return to this ground. Over the course of the weekend and the week, you will witness debutants, returning underdogs, and these two again on Sunday afternoon. Here's Donnelly, lovely turn, squeezes, some kind of a strike on target. Sundowns hope to be playing next Sunday, and that is a match you cannot miss. The match that will determine who is to progress to the CAF Women's Champions League for a shot at continental glory. Chabal Bengo urged to shoot, and she does shoot, and it was a real chance for her. She's really found herself in such a position, and a hefty 5 minutes to go.
fair. You can't lose the ball and walk.
Ludwig now not really playing as a midfielder, instead as another striker for Mamelodi Sundowns. Tolakele has dropped a whole lot deeper. And that's also one of the main advantages of this Mamelodi Sundowns team, is the fact that they can adapt and adjust mid-game, adapt to the opposition's style of play. They've got so many versatile, so many different kind of talents, especially in the attacking half, that they can call upon. Different personnel for different kind of matches. And Magia might just have earned her start for that crunch match on Sunday between Mamelodi Sundowns and Zesco and Ndola Ladies. Donnelly wins the header, as she so often does. Ludwig finds Donnelly again. Mali is in the box. Donnelly tries to find her. She doesn't. Tolakele. Tolakele still. Ludwig. Ludwig does not stop. Then Magia, that was on target. That was bending in. If it wasn't for the head of Emily Samuel standing in the way. Two and a half minutes gone of stoppage time, 2.5 minutes to go before the final whistle of Teresa Sitoko is heard. But day one of the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers has presented us with two matches, two one-sided affairs. Zesco and Ndola Ladies running the show in the first match. Mamelodi Sundowns dominating this main event. 3 goals to nothing in the first match, 3 goals to nothing in the second match. And we are likely to witness goals galore again tomorrow in those 2 matches, one in Group B and one in Group C. And if you're in the mood, don't forget that tickets are in fact free if you want to watch this splendor. CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers in person. Tickets are free. Or you can join us again from afar tomorrow, wherever you're tuning in from. Tomorrow, Group B offers a matchup between the returning finalists, Gaborone United, the team that UWC defeated in that highly dramatic penalty shootout last year in Malawi. Magia with the back heel, with the youngster, to Hadebe. So that Group B match tomorrow features Gaborone United and the Young Buffaloes of Eswatini, who have been close, former semi-finalists before, but are hungrier than ever before. And you can easily say that one victory in Group B or Group C will be just as good as one step in the semi-finals. That is why you cannot afford to miss the happenings in 24 hours' time, especially when Herentals Queens and Costa do Sol do battle. But that is tomorrow, and this is today, and Mamelodi Sundowns have outshone, outperformed Ntopwa ladies, scoring 3 unanswered goals. 2 from Tolakele in the first half and 1 from Magia in the second half, after Tolakele turned provider. It was a beautifully executed game plan by Mamelodi Sundowns ladies, and Ntopwa just had no answer at all. On another afternoon's work, it could have been even more goals for the Brazilians, for the 2-time champions. But they've made the perfect start to the CAF Women's Champions League COSAFA qualifiers. The type of start many people were envisioning. So Ntopwa will have to return and come back firing on Sunday when they take on Namibia's Beauties. That is a match that they cannot afford to lose. As for the match between Mamelodi Sundowns and Zesco and Dola ladies, that match on Sunday will determine the leading team in Group A before the final match of the group phase in this group, which will be on Tuesday. But this is just day one. So much more action to come. And the deserved player of the match, Refilwe Tolakele, for her brace in that second half and her assist for Magia. And there's the full-time score for you. Mamelodi Sundowns scoring 3 unanswered goals against Malawi's finest, Ntopwa Football Club. 19 staggering goal attempts for Mamelodi Sundowns, 7 of which were on target. As for Ntopwa, they really need to find their attacking touch before they re-enter this tournament on Sunday. But that's enough from me. In fact, we're just waiting for the coaches. And again, that possession statistic, just telling you everything you need to know. Mamelodi Sundowns controlling the ball, controlling the opposition, absolutely suffocating Ntopwa. Perfect start for Mamelodi Sundowns, but how will Ntopwa recover in the second game on Sunday? Let's hear what the coaches have to say.
Joining us is Ntopwa coach Isaac Osman Hadla. Coach, the overall of the game, please.
Yeah, the game was fantastic, and I'm very proud of my girls. You know, this game was very hard. We was playing with the defending champions, and we know it, that the game is going to be tough. But there's 2 things that affect us. They are live of us, starting from yesterday. We were at the hotel. They give us the rooms around 8 p.m. Today in the morning, we just eat in the morning. We didn't eat at the lunch. So those things can affect the players. As you see, some of the players, I put them out because they were feeling dizzy in the ground. But that is not an excuse. They have won. But the real thing is, you know, as a coach, I'm going to be disappointed because we lost. We'll go back and work hard for another game. But I'm proud of my girls.
You're talking about the upcoming game. You're playing against the Beauties FC.
Yeah, we know. My girls, you know, sometimes pressure when you are playing with the host club. So we are going to play against the Namibian club. You see much improvement on top, and we'll try. Tomorrow we have a day that we're going to recover. So when we're coming back on Sunday, you're also going to ask me the question because you are going to see the changing team.
Thank you so much, Coach.
I thank you. Yeah.
And now joining us is Coach Godfrey Sapola, Mamelodi Sundowns Ladies FC. Congratulations, Coach, on your first win. The overall of the game, please.
Yeah, I think we were in control, I think, for the better part of the game. I think we're never in trouble today. Yeah, but I think also moving forward, we can maybe start a little bit better because even before we scored the first goal, we got a few chances that we didn't take. And yeah, that's one area that we need to improve You know, our conversion ratio, we still need to improve because the score is 3-0, but we have created a lot of chances. You know, it could have been more. You know, we need to be a little bit more clinical in front of goals. But also, we seem to lack composure, you know, and rushing a bit, you know, in the final third, decision making, you know. Yeah, but first game, you know, we'll take it and we march on.
You're talking about being clinical. Your next game is up against Zescondola Girls, who won their first match against the Namibians.
Yeah, we want to focus on our own performance, you know. Fair enough, they are a good side. We watched a bit and we saw what they can do. But for us, we just want to focus on what we have to do on the day, you know. I think we gave a decent performance here today. And I think there's areas that we know if we improve, we can be dominant and make sure that we are able to win again against Zesco. Yeah. So for us, we want to focus on our own game. We respect them. We give them the respect they deserve. Okay, they're a good team, but we want to focus on our game and make sure that we do what we have to do to make sure that we get the maximum points on Sunday.
Thank you very much, Coach.
You're most welcome.
That was Godfrey Sapula, Mamelodi Sundowns Ladies FC coach. Thank you.
Are we done?
Qualifiers, the record of